The salmon souffle is made with fresh Scottish river salmon. To begin, we make a fish mousseline with river pike, eggs and cream. We coat the salmon fillets with the mousse and then lightly bake them to a perfect golden brown. Finishing off the dish, a creamy white wine and mushroom reduction sauce covers the plate. This dish is accompanied with puff pastry, fleurant, as they say in French, and a tomato concassé. Here we are with the famous Marc Haeberlin himself, 3 Michelin stars here in the kitchen at his beautiful restaurant. And he's going to be showing me how to cook one of his signature dishes.
Salmon souffle.
The salmon souffle.
Yeah, it's always very successful because the salmon is staying very soft and not dry because it's protected by the mousse.
So what do we need? We need
first the pike.
The pike. Okay, let me pass the pike to you. And this pike is it's local, I assume.
Yes,
yeah.
local. We have a fisher here by the Rhine who brings us fresh pike every week.
Great.
And first, we need, the most important thing is to put salt and pepper at the beginning.
Right.
And first, because salt helps the mousse
The moisture to
bind
it.
Yes.
Okay.
Olier. And then and also a little bit nutmeg.
Of nutmeg.
Dry nutmeg, but fresh.
Fresh ground nutmeg, there's nothing like it. I reckon that fish was swimming this morning,
in
no?
the river.
In the river,
Yes.
yeah.
And now we turn off. See? So with the salt before putting eggs, the meat is going to bind.
That's right. And pike is an egg.
Everything has to be very cold. The eggs cold, the cream cold,
okay.
fish cold.
And pike is an excellent fish that's used a lot here in France, isn't it, for mousse? Incorporate the eggs, so creating an emulsion with the eggs and the fish.
One by one. And after we pour
cream.
very slowly the cold cream.
How many times do you reckon you've made this dish, Marc?
This dish, thousands and
Thousands and thousands of times.
100,000.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That is success. Can you imagine 45 years of doing the same dish, a dish that his father created, and probably, is it one of the #1 sellers?
Yes. Now you see the mousse is finished. You see, the mousse is finished.
Great. So let me put that.
We put in a small bowl.
So now that we've got the mousse made, what is the next thing we need to do?
You can chop one shallot.
Okay, would you like me to do that for you?
Yes, you can do it.
Okay, I'll cut this shallot. Okay, so we have the butter.
And the shallot.
The shallots. So I'm going to cut these 2 shallots. And the mushrooms, Marc, how would you like them cut? Like the same, yeah? Okay, there we go.
And now we let sweat the shallots.
Sweat the shallots,
but
great.
without giving them color, faire suer les
So once we have those sweated, I reckon we're going to put some of that beautiful Riesling. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Great. Just the effect of putting that wine, the smell in here is amazing. So we're going to let the wine reduce by more than half. Okay. Then afterwards, we're going to be adding
some
fish stock.
Fish stock inside.
Okay.
Now maybe we can prepare during this time our salmon. We need here for 2 portions a nice slice of salmon.
Right. Scottish salmon.
Scottish salmon, 2 nice
Great.
pieces.
So 2 beautiful pieces of salmon.
Beautiful pieces of salmon.
And then we have the
mousse.
The fish mousse. Okay. Let me get that.
And then here it was our mousse from before. It rests for more than 1 hour. 1 good scoop of
Whipped cream.
Whipped cream.
Fold it in lightly.
Just whipped cream. Like chantilly with no sugar.
With no sugar. That sounds good. Adding the cream into the mousse, that's going to make it light.
Make it very light after you.
That's great.
And
so next, what are we going to do?
we are going to finish our salmon.
Right. Thank you.
So we need a little bit butter.
This is actually an old trick.
a little bit.
I remember all those years when I worked in France.
Yes.
It's very important sometimes also to
Yes.
season,
Correct.
not just the food,
And
but
then
also
I
the
show
dish.
you the next you are doing all the fillet of salmon.
Right.
We take the bones off.
Okay, the skin and the bones.
Here you take a little bit mousse.
All right.
You put on top.
Okay.
Very easy. And you give him a shape like...
Mark, something tells me about your technique that you've done that quite a few times
you
now.
make the second one.
Oh, right. Okay, you're going to make me stressed. All right, no problem.
And then you remove your salmon and you put on the salty plate.
Okay, so it's my turn now.
It's your
Okay,
mark.
right.
I
All
wash
right.
my hands.
You're gonna watch. You're not gonna watch what I'm gonna be doing. Okay. So if I remember what the master says, a nice big scoop of
A little bit more.
a little bit more. Is it okay for? Is it okay? Is it okay for the
Here, a
first
little
time?
bit,
We just clean up.
Very nice. And you put here just beside.
I think I've got as much mousse on my hands as I have the salmon, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's that?
Voila.
Voila.
And now we pour a little bit white wine. We still
Okay.
the same wine. We put a little bit white wine here. A little bit fish stock.
Okay. And then next
And we put in the oven.
in the oven.
Yeah.
Right. So how long are we going to be cooking that for approximately?
Oh, it's cooking for 12-13 minutes.
12-13 minutes. Okay.
So the
It's
salmon
nice.
is going to be pink inside.
And a little bit of color on the souffle. Great.
Now during this time,
We finish the
we
sauce.
finish the sauce. Here, Ashley, you see the whole wine is reduced.
That's
And
great.
now we can pour our fish stock.
Fish stock. Are we going to let that fish stock reduce a little
A
bit?
little bit.
Just a little bit. And then we're going to finish it off with this roux.
This roux, yes.
Okay, great. So as I mentioned before, the roux,
Not very much.
it's equal quantity of butter and flour, which have been cooked together. Great.
So you see, I think it's enough. We don't need to have too much stuff. We pour
Some cream to finish it off.
and we let it reduce.
Great. So we can let that cook for a little bit. So I think we should go and take a look, see how that salmon's
Yes,
doing.
salmon.
Let me go and have a look in. Let's go and look in the oven.
They get a nice brown color.
That looks delicious.
In a few seconds or minutes, it's cooked.
And besides the color, I mean, look at that spongy texture
Yes.
that it has.
So now we are going to finish our sauce.
Our sauce.
The sauce is
So the seasoning's good,
finished,
yeah?
Yes. And we can
Strain it.
strain
Okay, let me help you with that.
The secret of the sauce also is put in the last minute just before serving a little bit uncooked wine. Riesling, the best is to take
Yeah.
the same Riesling that you are going
To be drinking.
serve.
And I think
A little bit
that's a good secret from the chef, because I think often when we're cooking with alcohol, often we have to reduce it to get rid of the alcohol, but by putting just that touch of product in at the end, in this case the Riesling wine,
Yes.
it keeps all the freshness and bouquet of that wine. So the sauce, we're just going to emulsify that butter in. Okay. Very useful piece of equipment.
So it's finished.
There we go. And we're going to do a canal, French, a nice
Voilà.
ladle of sauce,
Voilà, sauce. In the bottom of the plate.
tomato concassé.
Just a small one, not too much.
Right,
You turn like this.
that's right. The famous canal. Anyone who's worked in France has to know how to make a canal. That's right,
Yes,
no?
And so
Right.
to decor a
Some
little
chervil.
chervil. And then our salmon we are going to put on top.
Okay, Mark, so the delicious sauce, the tomato concassé, that salmon looks so good.
Salmon here.
This dish, 45 years in the
You
making.
put just a nice fleuron.
Le fleuron.
And the dish is finished.
Et voilà. So
Et voilà.
the
We can
famous,
taste now.
the famous salmon souffle. Mark, that dish looks amazing. I mean, wow. And with the salmon, let's just try that.
See?
Oh, that is beautiful.
The
I mean,
cooking is perfect.
it's
here.
perfect.
And the salmon is not dry.
no, that
You
looks.
see
I
here?
mean, look at that.
It's pink.
Beautiful. You know what? I'm gonna take that middle bit, that delicious, juicy middle bit. Thank you so much. And chin chin.
Chin.